Hey guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, or this evening actually, I'm doing part 3 to the story, titled, My Friends with Benefits Lied About Being Married and I'm Helping Him with the Divorce. And guys, since you all watched part 2 earlier and you've been dying for part 3, this is going to be the continuation on where things left off, where the guy was told about his wife, got all the proof, went out and saw it for himself, she came home, and now he's going to bed, and we're about to go on to the confrontation with her and all her BS excuses and all that. And so thanks all for tuning in on this update here. This is obviously another long one, as you can see, so I'm going to get right to the point because you all know what happened. And if you just stumbled on this video, watch part 1 and 2 and you'll come back to part 3 here. So it continues on with his story here. It says here, breakfast was hard. I meant really hard. I wanted to shake my fist at the sky and scream at the woman that stole the last decade of my life and responsible for the pain that my daughter was going to have to go through, but I sat there eating in silence, while Gracie was doing her best to act upbeat and happy. It is amazing, the performance that some of these gals can put on. It's amazing. The Oscar goes to... she kept trying to talk to me, and I had no doubt she knew something was very wrong. Of course she knew. Women aren't stupid. They know these things. I'd never been really able to hide my feelings, and she knew me better than anyone else. The only thing that kept running through my mind was wondering if this was the first time in our relationship that she stepped out on me. Well, unfortunately, once a cheater, always a cheater. I've listened to a lot of stories since that day, and I've seen people in the comments talking about what they would do if I were them. But until you're in the middle of it, I promise you, you have no idea. That's very true, sir. After breakfast, Gracie kept trying to talk to me to find out why I was in a bad mood, but I had no idea what even to say to her. I brushed it off as just having a problem at work and didn't want to go into any details, and she turned the vice on my heart even tighter when she hugged me and said that she was there for me when I was ready to talk. I've never been prone to violence, but the thoughts were there. I'm glad you didn't, because then your daughter would be growing up without a father, and you would be behind bars while she walked free. So, good for you there. But then again, nobody could blame you if there was a quick smack or worse. But I don't condone violence. I did ask her how her movie night was, and she went on for about 20 minutes talking about how good the movie was and how much fun she and her friends had sitting around gossiping, and thanked me for being so understanding. Not one damn shred of guilt. Nothing. She had that prepared. Again, the Oscar goes to for Best Supporting Asshole. If I had to say what was the most painful part of everything going on in my life right now, you would think that finding out my wife was cheating on me would be the worst, but it isn't. The fact that she could look me in the eyes with such sincerity and lie to my face hurts the most. I trusted that woman with my life and my deepest and darkest secrets. The fact that she could do it to me and not even blink told me that I didn't know her at all, and it is heart-crushing. I can't blame you at all. At all. But you know what? Yes, you give 10 years of your life, but at the least you got your amazing daughter. And also the fact that you're still in your early 30s and you're young, or maybe mid-30s, your whole life ahead of you. A man's prime just begins in his early 30s, so you're in the right place to be. And obviously she's not who you thought she was, and as much as that can rip your heart out thinking that, at least she's not who you thought she was, therefore there's no reason to be with someone like this. After breakfast, I ended up spending the rest of my morning in my office trying to figure out what to do. I knew our marriage was over, but I didn't know how to move forward. It's not like there's a class in high school or college to teach you how to do any of this shit. Well, I'm hoping I can help teach guys in varying degrees through these stories that guys can help figure that out if they're in a situation like this. The only thing that I knew for sure is that I needed a lawyer and to spend a few hours doing research on divorce and looking up lawyers. Very good. Very smart. I had to hide what I was doing a few times because the longer I was in my office, the more often Gracie would come in and try to talk to me. But I passed it off as a problem at work that I was taking care of. Let me be perfectly clear. I'm not a good liar, and I never have been. I know that Gracie knew I wasn't telling the truth, but she didn't press me on anything. You know what? Fuck her. You don't have to tell her the truth. You don't owe her the truth. You know, remember, she could go into your laptop or computer and look at your browsing history, what you're looking for and everything like that, but it is what it is. Things are going to come crashing down soon enough, but very good. Go look for a lawyer. Talk to a lawyer, find out all your options, good, bad, or ugly, and strike. I don't know if it makes me weak or stupid, but if she would have come to me and confessed about what she did before Adam knocked on my door, I would have probably given our marriage a chance, if for nothing else than to shield my daughter from the pain of growing up in a broken home. That'd be a very bad idea. And by the way, the reason I'm not giving smacks here is because I really sincerely feel bad for this guy, and this guy deserves... He's been great sharing his story here. No, you should not have stayed in with her for the child, because your daughter grew up in a household where mom and dad hate each other's guts, and there's no love, no trust, nothing. Okay? You can't be married to someone like that who did that to you all those months. They could just lie in your face and smile at you and give you a hug, and I'm there for you when you need to talk. That bullshit. You can't be with someone like that. No. It doesn't. How many of you guys know people, maybe yourself, grew up in households where mom and dad didn't love each other, hate each other's guts, there was turmoil, and then those people end up in relationships just like that because they think that's normal. You don't want your daughter to end up in a relationship with a guy like your wife. I get why you're saying that. I get why so many guys say that, but really, if you look at the big picture, it makes sense. He says, if that meant sacrificing a part of my soul to protect my child, I would have done it without question. I'm not saying that our relationship would have ever been the same, but I would have found a way. I know there are a lot of people that would disagree with that. Well, I'm one of them. But there are very few things that I wouldn't sacrifice for my daughter's happiness, including myself. I know I know it would have never worked, but those were the thoughts I had at the time. It's okay. I don't blame you. But you are making the sacrifice to protect your daughter from her and get her out of that environment. That's the best thing you can do long term. The only thing I knew for sure was that I was true to our vows and our family. Gracie made the choice of what we had wasn't worth keeping. That was when I started thinking about Adam. I wanted to hate him, but there aren't many guys out there that would do what he did. Knowing that he was likely to get his ass beat or worse, he still acted like a man and faced me head on. Yes, exactly. I can still remember the look on his face and how nervous and devastated he was when he told me that he had been sleeping with my wife. The entire time he kept his hands in his pockets. If I wanted to beat his ass, there was nothing to stop me. He and I will never be friends, but I have nothing but respect for him for having the courage and honor to do what he did. If not for him blowing the whistle on what Gracie had been doing behind my back, I wouldn't have found out, and then to offer to stand with me through the divorce as a witness is simply unheard of. I believe he's a good man that met a bad woman, and I don't blame Adam for his part in this. Well, that's great of you to say, because a lot of guys won't be able to do that. And this guy, again, he wrote in his story to me. He feels terrible, and he wants to help you. And he, too, was cheated on by someone that he trusted and loved, too. He wasn't married, he didn't have a kid, but he knows elements of that pain. If Gracie was doing that to me, then more than likely, Shelley and Belinda were doing that to their own partners after watching the video I made a few times, I was fairly certain that they were cheating as well. Guaranteed they were all cheating. I knew I had to tell them, but I needed to confront Gracie first. I wasn't sure how to approach it without losing my mind, but she's the one that broached the topic. Not with any admissions, but after we put Amelia down for the night, we were sitting in the living room, and she asked me what was going on. At first I told her it was nothing, but she said she knew I was lying and asked me to talk to her, so I did. Here we go. I told her that I thought she was keeping something from me, and she looked surprised and said she would never do anything like that to me, and asked what I was talking about. I asked her about her movie night and marrying her friends, and she started repeating some of that what she already told me. I have no idea how she's able to look at me in the eyes and lie to my face that easily, but that hurt. I asked if they were all at Mary's the entire night or they went someplace else, and she said they were all at Mary's all night long and didn't understand why I was asking her that. How dare you not trust me? How dare you ask me that? Oh, okay. Here's my phone, and here's the videos of you at the bar and your friends, and look at such and such their hands all over that guy. I told her that I drove over to Mary's and knocked on the door for 10 minutes and nobody came to the door. And she seemed a little shocked, but said they probably didn't hear the door and apologized for making me worry. She asked me why I didn't call her instead of driving over, and I just asked her why it mattered. She didn't say anything. I told her I knew she was lying to me and that I knew they weren't there, and at first she tried to say I was acting crazy because they were there all night until she came home. Here we go. You're the bad guy. You're acting crazy. What's wrong with you? Are you drunk? You don't trust me? Why the hell can't I just tell the truth? I told her, please just be honest with me, and she doubled down saying that they never left Mary's house and didn't know why I was acting so crazy. That's when I told her that I knew she was at the bar that she was at, and I think her face went a little pale, and she was speechless. Well, that's the first time this bitch has been able to shut up. I asked her why she was lying to me, and then her story changed from they never left Mary's to they just went out to get a drink, and it was no big deal, and she was sorry for not telling me. Well, then why didn't you say that in the first place, sweetie? Until I watched some of the other videos you posted. I've never heard the term trickle truth. I asked her if Shelley and Belinda's boyfriend/husband knew they were out at the bar, and she said they weren't doing anything wrong and just wanted to get out and have a few drinks to help Mary. Oh, okay. Nothing. So their boyfriends wouldn't mind with their hands all over some guys and kissing them and doing Lord knows what. That's okay. I asked her if she spent any time talking to other men while she was out, and she actually had the nerve to get angry at me for even suggesting something like that. If not for what I already knew, I would have felt like shit by the way she reacted. Again, I was looking at her, and for the life of me, I had no idea the woman that was sitting in front of me, who she was. She was a complete stranger. I'm not sure how to describe it, but I think my entire body went numb at that point. There are guys all over the world that are going to watch this that may have been in a situation in degrees like yours, been lied to their face, been cheated on, realized the woman that they loved wasn't who she said she was or who they thought she was, and they know that numb feeling. Believe me, guys get it. If there was any doubt in me that there was a way to salvage my marriage, it was gone. For 10 years, Gracie has been my best friend, my lover, and the mother of my child, and the person I plan on growing old with and dying with. And I realized that I had no idea who she was. She is, unfortunately, a modern Western woman. I can't think of anything throughout my entire career that caused me so much pain. I'm sorry if I'm coming off as some weak man, but my entire identity was built around the life I thought I had. Bro, you're not weak. Nobody's thinking that. I was happy, and I thought she was happy. The only thing I could think about was my 5-year-old self and how hard it was when my parents divorced, and now my daughter was going to go through the same thing. I'm not sure if there are words that can describe the complete devastation I was feeling. You are an awesome dad, and you're going to be great with your daughter and give her a great life, and it'll be hard now, but she'll be okay. You're her strong rock. You got to always be the strong rock for your daughter and start taking care of you. I'm not sure how long I've been sitting there, lost in my thoughts, when Gracie grabbed my hand and started apologizing to me for not telling me about going to the bar. But she didn't think it was a big deal, and she promised she would never do something like that again without telling me. I pulled my hand away from her and asked her to tell me about Adam, and she froze. Remember the trickle truth things, guys? At first she asked, "Who's Adam?" And it pissed me off. I told her just tell me the truth and point out how curious it was that I even knew his name. Then she went full on crazy. She started crying and saying she never did anything, and if Adam talked to me, that he was lying. Remember, guys, from video number 1, they were hooking up for 4 months and all that was going on. I don't need to go into the details here. And again, this guy presented the husband who's telling this story with text exchange and conversations, pictures and all that. But again, the whole her crying and never did anything and he's lying. Oh my God. Then she said that he had, let me pick my words. Fuck it. Assaulted, you get the point, at the club. But she handled it and never wanted to bring it up because she knew that I'd be angry and promised to never go out to a club again without me, and apologized for not telling me because she was afraid that I would get the wrong impression. He says, Jesus, do women have a special class in school where they learn this shit? Yes, it's called the Hobag Handbook. Of course, now she's blaming him. He did that to me. Really, he did that to you, that the A word there, and yet you still for 4 months were doing everything. Sure. It was crystal clear to me by then that she wasn't going to be honest with me, so I pulled up my phone, and to her terror, I started reading the text messages between her and Adam. Whew. Imagine being the fly on the wall and that whole thing went down, or having Harry Potter's invisibility cloak while you're watching this whole scene go down. At first she was confused, but it didn't take her very long to recognize her own words. She started begging me to stop and was saying how sorry she was. But I didn't. I read every single word, and when there was a picture between the conversation, I held up so she could see a sausage pic or a picture of her lady parts. By the time I finished, she was a sobbing mess, swearing that it was a mistake and promised she would do anything to make up for it. It's the same fucking lines over and over. You guys watch me for a while, hearing the stories the guys send in. All over the world, they say the same. Again, that's why I say it's a hoe bag handbook. I was done. I gave that woman a decade of my life, and that's how she repaid my love and loyalty to her. I told her to go to bed, but in the morning, she had to pack her shit and get the hell out of my house. Hell yeah, brother. Amen. There's cheering going on all over the world right now. She was hysterical and begging me to give her another chance to make up for what she did, but just the sight of her made me want to drive my car off a bridge. I ended up going to my daughter's room and locking the door before going to bed on the last good day of my daughter's life. I'm ashamed to admit it, but I'm not ashamed to admit it that I spent a lot of time crying, watching that little girl sleeping, and knowing that her life was never going to be the same. Dude, don't worry about it. Nobody can blame you. No shame. But you know what? Your daughter is going to have a even stronger, tougher father now. You know, you're going to be all right. I didn't know if it was out of spite or a sense of justice, but the last thing I did before falling asleep was to send Shelly and Belinda's partners the video I took of them at the bar with a text to call me the next day. Awesome. Whether it was out of justice or spite, doesn't matter. Those guys deserve to know, just the way you deserve to know. Now you're going to get all these hoe bags in trouble. The whole coven's going down. It's been a little more than a month since then, and my life is in total chaos. As you can imagine, Shelly's boyfriend and Belinda's husband had some questions for me the next day, and I told them everything. Let's just say they aren't very happy. The last I heard was that Belinda's husband is also filing for divorce, and Shelly's boyfriend kicked her out of his apartment. Holy shit. This is awesome. Justice is being served. Gracie tried to talk to me the next morning, but I was done. When she figured out that I wasn't interested in her BS, she packed some clothes and was going to stay at her parents' house until I was able to see reason, and this is her word saying, that I was able to see reason and not destroy our family over a mistake. A mistake? Really? 4 months you've been lying. 4 months you've been hooking up with this dude, and all the things and the evidence I have and all the things I don't have evidence for, and probably other years you were cheating I don't know about, and it was a mistake? Sure. If the situation was reversed, do you think you would accept it if I just said it was a mistake and come to my senses and save our marriage? What other crap did she say here? Not destroy our family. You, sweetheart, you, through your actions, destroyed our family. And now you are going to have to live with the consequences. And by the way, your family is going to find out all about this one way or another. Then she tried to leave with our daughter, but I didn't let her take Amelia. Oh, hell no, you're not taking our daughter with you. I told her that wasn't going to happen, and that it got bad enough that she started threatening me that she was going to call the cops. But I told her to go ahead, and I would show everyone what she's been doing behind my back. She eventually relented and left for her parents' house, and I wasn't surprised to get a call from her dad later that day asking what was going on. Yeah, of course, he's not going to find out what his sweet and innocent little girl was doing. Oh no. I guess she told her parents I just threw her out and wouldn't talk to her, so I told him everything and sent him texts, pictures, and all. Whew. I got a call a little while later from her mom apologizing and begging me to give her a chance to make up for her mistake. Good. The acorn doesn't fall far from the tree. Again, do I have to elaborate the whole mistake thing? I told her mom how much I loved her, but to call cheating on me for 4 months a mistake was absolutely as insulting as the cheating itself, and told that any future correspondence would be through the lawyers. There you go. No more of this shit. Let your lawyers do the talking. Legally, I can't stop Gracie from coming to the house, and she's also on the deed. But we've agreed that when she's there to visit our daughter, she's not to talk to me. I guess this is just another of my failures, because about 2 weeks after kicking her out, I didn't end up talking to her for a few hours. Shouldn't have done that, man. I get it, but you should have done that. I just couldn't figure out why she did it, and it was driving me crazy. Bro, there is no way in hell you are going to get an honest answer out of her. And I'm willing to bet you also, and this is not to give her a pass, she probably doesn't even know. I mean, I'm serious. Women are so driven by their goddamn emotions, a lot of them can't logically have the two connect. But it doesn't matter. She's like a fucking child. At a minimum, we are going to be tied to each other for at least another 14 years because of our daughter, and regardless of what Gracie did to our marriage, I didn't want Millie to suffer more than was necessary. Yes, for the sake of your daughter, you two need to be able to be civil in raising her and all that. But right now in the divorce part, you don't need to be talking to her. We were still going to have to co-parent, so there was no way I could just cut her out of my life completely. So after all the initial emotions were calmed down, I agreed to talk to her. From the start of the conversation, I told her there was simply no way that I could ever trust her again, and without trust, I couldn't be in a relationship with her. I only had one question: why? Well, here we go. At first, she tried apologizing and say how sorry she was. I'd be like, bitch, shut up, get to the point. But I told her it was too late for that. But if she ever loved or respected me, at least she could explain why she decided to destroy our lives and then the life of our daughter. I told her I would never be in the relationship with her again, but I didn't want to hate her. I think that was when the full weight of what she did hit her, because she started crying and hyperventilating. Again, the third Oscar goes to... I know that people can put on an act, but I've known Gracie for a long time. Well, you didn't know her. She wasn't acting. It took a while to get her calmed down, and what she told me makes me feel like I've been robbed of a future that I shouldn't have been. I don't remember every word she said, but I'm going to summarize as best I can. She said that after Mary's divorce, she was concerned about her and told me that Mary was contemplating offing herself. Oh, so you're going to go to that'll fix things, you go into the clubs and hooking up and cheating on me and our daughter so Mary wouldn't off herself? God's sakes. I never knew that. She was terrified that her best friend was in such a dark place and wanted to be there for her. It was after Mary had a breakdown at one of our cookouts, when she was the only one there without her partner, that it all came crashing down on her. Gracie said that she was afraid that Mary was going to hurt herself, and Shelley and Belinda agreed to start spending time with her so they could talk to her and try to help Mary through the hardest of times. Then maybe she needs to be some serious professional help. Maybe she needs to be in a hospital for a little while if she thinks she's going to off herself. Not what they did. The first couple of movie nights were exactly that. They spent the time watching movies, drinking wine, and talking about life. Gracie said it was Mary's idea to go out to the club because she didn't want to be alone, since all of her friends were happy in relationships. So Gracie, Shelley, and Belinda decided to go out and help her find someone to be in a relationship with. Well, maybe that element happened, and I think I'm not surprised if this Mary character is like, well, let's see, all three of them are in marriages or relationships and they're happy and I'm not, so I'm going to fuck it all up for all of them so they can be just like me. But it doesn't excuse the other gals what they did. The first couple of times, that's what they did. They helped Mary hook up with some guys a few times, and they could see that they could all see that she was coming out of the dark place that she was in. They were all happy for her and thought she was going to be okay. But when Belinda suggested they stop going out clubbing, Mary really put the pressure on all of them that she needed their help. Now, maybe this is true, but at the end of the day, this woman, the wife here telling the story, she's lost all credibility, because it sounds like to me, and it sounds like to all of you, that all the blame is being put on her friend. It's not my fault I cheated. It's not my fault I did 4 months of unspeakable things. It's Mary's fault. She's the one that made me do it. We felt bad for her. No, you're a grown-ass woman. You made your bed. You have to lie in it. I guess they didn't want to leave their friend hanging, so they went out to some more, and that's when everything changed. Gracie said she didn't intend on cheating on me, but after going out a few times, and after all the attention she was getting from random guys, she got lost in the emotions of it. That is no excuse. And right here, after all the attention she was getting. Now remember, she's now in her 30s. She's had a kid. And you can have damn good-looking gals in their 30s and 40s and shit, even 50s sometimes for their age, but still, they're not as appealing as they were in their prime, in their 20s. And she's missing the old days when the guys were hitting on her, and there you go. Don't tell me about getting caught up in the emotions. She knew exactly what she was goddamn doing. She said she loved me with everything she had, but it was exciting to be desired by other men, and she didn't think some harmless flirting would hurt anything. Well, honey, you thought wrong. You don't think her husband here would love the attention of some gals checking him out, but you know what? He doesn't care about that. You know what he cares about? He cares about his wife and his daughter. That's his world, not having bimbos checking him out. Grow the fuck up. But none of these gals ever really grow the fuck up. Now, do they now? Now, not all. I'll be fair, not all, but a lot. One thing led to another. Oh, imagine that. And she ended up going to the home with Adam, and she convinced herself that once Mary was in a stable relationship, she was going to be able to stop going to the clubs, and she thought our lives would go on like nothing happened. Oh, well, glad she had a plan there. She was swearing that she didn't have any feelings for him and never thought she was hurting anyone, but admitted the day I confronted her that she knew our relationship was over and how much she messed up. Oh, it dawned upon her in that moment how messed up it was? Oh, okay. She told me that if she could go back in time, okay, Cher, and change everything, she would. And she understands why I didn't want anything to do with her. Her only request, here we go, her only request was that I would someday find it in my heart to forgive her for what she did, and maybe we could be a family again. Are you off your goddamn meds? No, we're not going to be a family again. I don't care how you twist this story around and blame Mary and everything else and how you thought it would everything go back to normal. No, we're not going to be a family again. You're lucky we even in the same room speaking civilly to each other. If I'm being honest, there's a part of me that wished the same thing, but I told her that I gave her every part of me and she stuck a knife in my back while smiling to my face and we would never be together again. Good. I'm sure there was a party that just really wished you could just make everything disappear and go back to the way you thought your life was. I mean, let's be honest here, but no, you can't. You can't trust her. You can't believe a fucking thing she says. She said she understands, bullshit, that what she did was unforgivable and that I didn't deserve any of it, of what she did to me, and hopes that we can still be friends until she can make up for what she's done. Okay, just for fun, please tell me how you intend to make up for what you've done, really? I told her that a friend wouldn't have done that to me and our family and what she did, and the only thing I needed from her was to be the best parents we can be until our daughter's an adult. Yes, you want to repay me, then you're going to give me a very, very civil, drama-free divorce. And we're going to raise our daughter, and you're going to show me respect and be good to her. That's how you can repay me for everything you've done. That's how you can maybe one day I can forgive you if you do all that. Anything less than that, watch out. Other than that, she had no place left in my heart or my life. It was a difficult decision, but she didn't fight me. I think she's learned not to F with you at this point. The last thing she said was that she was going to wait for me and wouldn't be getting into any relationship until she knew there was no possibility for us to start over. How many times does this guy have to tell you it's not going to happen? And by the way, lady, your clock is ticking. You're in your 30s. You can't wait around for another guy. I told her not to waste her life on something that was not going to happen, but she just insisted that she was going to wait for me. Knock yourself out. Wait all you want with your freaking box wine and watching reruns of Dawson's Creek or whatever they watch, and have fun, because you're going to be waiting a long time. It was a few days after that meeting that Mary came to my house to apologize for helping break up our marriage. I would be like, get the fuck off my property. I didn't know how to feel about that, but I told her that I didn't mind that Gracie was trying to help her recover from a divorce, but it was Gracie's decision to cheat on me. You're darn right. She asked if we could still be friends. What is with these girls? Problem is, their perception of this guy, he's a nice guy, and they think they can just eventually wear him down and have to get their way. And I told her no. And anyone that would support their friends cheating on one another of their friends is not a friend. I wasn't rude, but I told her that she knew that what Gracie was doing behind my back, and she supported her, and there was nothing left to say. She apologized again before she left, and that was the last time I've talked to Mary. Well, Mary can kiss your ass. So here I am, a little more than a month out from finding out my wife of 10 years cheating on me, and I feel like walking death. I'm sure there are some folks out there that can get past this and try to work things out, but the bridge has been burnt, and as much as I still love her, there's no way that I could ever trust her again. For now, she's agreed to an amicable divorce and agreed to 50-50 custody with no child support. Hey. Her family is completely devastated, as is mine. I'll be keeping my house and primary custody of Amelia under the agreement that Gracie can come over and spend as much time with her as she wants to. You're keeping the house and you got the primary custody of Amelia? Awesome. You deserve it. I don't mind, have no intentions of getting into another relationship anytime soon. Good, because you got a lot of healing to do. For now, at least in my mind, my daughter is the most important part of my life, and I'm not going to keep her away from her mom. Maybe it was a one-time slip, or maybe it was an indication that our marriage was failing, but for at least the next 14 years, Gracie's going to be my Jesus Christ. Gracie is going to be my life. I'm like stuttering there. Going to be my life, and I'd rather move on from this without anger. Maybe a new relationship with a new woman will come up in the future, and if so, I'm not sure how it will affect the dynamic of my relationship that I have with my daughter. But for now, I'm only a few weeks into the separation/divorce process, and I'm not sure how anything's going to go. I wish I wasn't writing any of this, and if I'm honest, this has been one of the hardest things I've ever done. I've written, deleted, rewritten, edited, deleted, and written it again. It's been very therapeutic and has helped me see things more clearly. Good. I'm glad it helps. So many guys write in, bro, and say how they say, SSM, even if you don't do this story, which I do anyway, just writing it out really helped me clear things up in here. It made me feel better to get it out. I've heard that many, many times. I have no idea if anyone wants to read any of this crap or it's going to be helpful to anyone, but maybe someone can find some solace in knowing that no matter how difficult life gets, there's always tomorrow. Brother, you're helping someone. Trust me, and I'll mention that in a few minutes. I'm sorry if my rendition of events is too long-winded or if I've left parts out that might have been important. I don't know if the formatting is okay or not. If you don't want to share my part of the story, no hard feelings. And if you need to cut out some of my rambling, I won't be offended. I still have no idea how 10 years of my life have ended up in a complete failure, but life happens, I guess. If my story can help someone else, feel free to use it. I'm not sure if my rambling is too much or I've left out details that are important. Anyway, thanks for the work you do, and I wish this world wasn't so crazy. Wow. Holy shit, man. Bro, you're a trooper. You're going through hell, but I'm telling you right now, I know you're new to the channel because you found out about the channel because Adam, codename Adam, let you know about obviously what's going on, and he told you that he wrote in, and you're new, but understand this. There are guys all over the world, like I said, that tune in every day to watch my shows. It's awesome. And many have been in bad situations in varying degrees like yours, cheated on, divorced, hurt. And it's therapy to them. It really helps them. So by you sharing your story here, you taking the time to write it down and edit it and delete it and edit it and re-edit it and all that, you're helping guys. You're doing a service. And I say all the time that there's so many stories that guys write in where they tell me that I watched this video or that video and that helped me see problems that were going on in my life or helped me discover some red flags in my relationship. So thanks to the guys that wrote in. So by you doing this, you're really helping somebody out all over the world. And because I get guys, like I said, all over the freaking world. And I make this clear because you're new to my channel. Human nature is human nature wherever you are. It doesn't make a difference where you live, your religion, your culture, your education, socioeconomic background, whether this is going on today in 2023 or 100 years ago in 1923. Men are men, women are women, and the same bullshit happens. So this is very important knowledge to gain, aside from, of course, entertainment. So I respect and appreciate you doing this. But understand this, brother. There are guys around you, they're watching your story now that they've got your back. And they're wishing you well. And they will comment in the comment section wishing you well and giving you pieces of advice. And brothers, please do give this guy a shout out and give him some advice to help him along because he's hurting. And they will. There'll be hundreds, not 1,000 comments between your part 2 and part 3 of the story of guys supporting you. And all I can say is this, is like guys have been through this, is you take it one day at a time. You stay strong for yourself, you stay strong for your daughter, and it's going to be a roller coaster. And some days you're not going to want to get out of bed, and you're going to feel like, some days you may think of ending it all. Well, you don't. You stay strong because things will get better over time. As I say, and I'm like a broken record at this point. Do the things that you enjoy. Spend the time with people that care about you, your family, your friends, and the ones that, without a shadow of a doubt, you know have your back. Be the great dad for your daughter, being the rock, the strong masculine guy that your daughter needs. Because your daughter, yes, this is going to be hard on her, of course, but it will get better in time. And if you don't exercise or hit the gym or anything like that, I recommend doing that because you will feel better. Even if it means going for a walk for 15 minutes. It will get things moving. I've had some bad days in my life, believe me, and I would not want to do anything, and I'd go over to martial arts back when I was in martial arts, and after 15 minutes of doing the warm-ups and hitting pads, all of a sudden felt better. You know, get out there, exercise, move around, do stuff. Don't fall into drinking, eating garbage to feel better, spending a bunch of money on bullshit to make yourself feel. Don't put yourself in a hole, okay? And in time, it will get better. And I guarantee you, even after the divorce, your ex is going to be trying to get you back. This is not going to stop. And stand firm. You can't trust her. And one day down the road, because obviously it sounds like you're a relationship guy, you're ready for a relationship, really use all the things you've learned through this bad experience, and hopefully become a regular watcher of my channel and learn a lot of things that can help you out down the road, you know, because this whole channel is about not only helping guys out with sharing the stories, but also helping motivate guys to be the best they can be, turn their lives around, make things happen for themselves, etc., etc. I cover a lot of topics here. This is a men's channel. I got women that watch me, and they're cool, and they agree with what I say, but this is a men's channel, and you can do it. I believe in you, okay? And if you want to down the road, want to send an update how things are going, definitely write in, you know, and I will definitely cover your story. And I absolutely wish you the best and your daughter, and you're going to be all right. So, gentlemen, take a moment, let this guy know he's going to be okay. And you guys been through this shit before, through a divorce or anything like this, let him know in the comment section. He's going to make it. If you want to give a little piece of advice, your own experience, share that too. This, I guarantee you, he'll read every comment. And by you doing that and taking out just a moment of your time, you're helping out a brother. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. I just said that. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.